about Papa, Mataji would never refer to him except by describing his impersonal attributes, such as he who having become everything, transcends everything, or Nirakara Nirguna Shashwata Papa, or all merciful, all pervading Papa. If anyone wrote below Papa, she would immediately say that is not the way you should write. There must always be an adjective showing his attributes like eternal, infinite, Purushottam, all merciful, all compassionate, all transcendent. You should never think of Papa as an individual or as the body. Keep always in mind that Papa is everything and beyond everything. He is God himself. Mataji was once asked, how can we consider anything that is transitory, that gradually perishes as God? Papa's body, we know, is also subject to the law of nature, has to perish sooner or later. Mataji replied, Papa is not merely this body. Papa is in this body, works through this body, which is purified and made divine. So you can worship that body also as God himself, because it is through this body you are initiated, guided, helped, blessed. So the image, Papa's body, we know, is also subject to the law of nature. Papa is not merely this body. Papa is in this body, works through his body, which is purified and made divine. So there is a concentration either on the image or on the sound or on the light. So depending upon our own taste, temperament and aptitude, we should try. Meditation and absorption. Those are things we need not now break our head on understanding it. When we set ourselves on the process, we will gradually move. So first and foremost thing is concentration. No? Why we talk about meditation and absorption? That is the outcome of this. When we read all these words, normally our intellect, mind and intellect get riveted to some expressions. And then it's a non-starter for us. We hear that sound. Today we hear about concentration, meditation and absorption. But are we doing it? So we have to start with concentration. At the next stage it will come by itself. Attributes and then finally become qualitative. Those are all academic, At the moment it is academic for us. Attributes we may repeat simply the words, that's all. So for example, whenever we see an article, first job, let us try to bring how he is expressed through the table. Nobody need know about it, no? So first we see an article object. We start from there. Concentration. We start from that. Today we happen to read about a particular page of Swami's analogies. I will tell you how an ordinary blackboard in a classroom can take us to the height. Just very interesting. The same blackboard is approached by different teachers to explain different subjects during a single day in any classroom. All of us have same blackboards. The arithmetic teacher's geometrical figures calculations are wiped clean by the geography teacher to design therein his maps of the world and trace the path of rivers, location of the lakes, and the position of the mountains. When the chemistry teacher arrives, Here observe the entire world of mountains, rivers, oceans represented on the blackboard. And he in his turn represents thereon the laws of chemical reactions between the various elements and compounds among themselves and with others. Now it is left for the history teacher to make the blackboard clean again and to refill it with the family trees of dynasty is destroyed and the family is forgotten. Each teacher comes and marks out on the blackboard different designs which represent the design of knowledge that each teacher has in his bosom. But all of them were chopped out and executed on the same changeless blackboard, which illumines the mathematical calculations, the geographical data, the chemical formulae, and the historical facts in turn. Similarly, the changing world with the unmanifested world must have all have one changeless substratum, that which is not destroyed by the destruction of all beings. When in the evening the students and the teachers have left the classroom, the blackboard still remains. This principle of pure consciousness, itself unmanifest, inasmuch as it is not perceivable by the sense organs or comprehensible by the mind and intellect, is indicating. Just imagine a blackboard. So this will help us, And all these words, when we start looking at it, yeah, we have all that in the school days. Nowadays, probably it may not be blackboard. It may be something else. But we go back, as devotees, as sadhakas, we go back to our school days when the same thing was happening. With a duster in his hand, the teacher comes and talks about his subject properly, not in the way Swami has explained. Mathematics, equations come, science, something else comes, history, something else comes, language, something else comes. But it remains there. It allows everything to have a play. And at that time, it totally identifies with the subject. Think about it. When the 45 minutes mathematics class is taken, entire concentration is on that. Whenever the mind goes out here and there, that is why it is written on the blackboard. Why the blackboard again? If the text is to be just given out by the teacher, there is a likelihood that the mind may go here and there. So, in order that the mind gets concentrated on the same subject, the teacher writes something or asks the student to write something, the same subject, so that the mind does not go anywhere else. So for that, the blackboard is necessary, the chalk piece is necessary, intelligence is necessary. Now let us try to figure out. These three are there in that. Concentration, meditation, and absorption. These three things happen in the 45 minutes, about which we are not aware. Not all students, I agree. But those who are attentive, because when the teacher says something, and then he writes something on the blackboard, we try to dwell upon it, assimilate upon it, concentrate upon it. And then that outer words bring into your mind something which is called the thematic realization. The theme goes inside. And when you become one with it, absorption. So it is not a big thing. But it is suppose we start understanding like this, probably somebody, otherwise, we hear Papa's word, we go back. We may be able to reproduce in a meeting or a satsang, but hardly we take it back. Now we go back. All of us have passed through this class experience, and at that time, we were able to concentrate, we were able to we did not bring the word concentrate, meditate, absorption, but then we set on a process, and the process gave us this experience. So like that, when you see an article, suppose you start pondering deep. This is what we are doing through the Gita study. We try to bring into our mind such of the things which we are daily handling. Easy for the mind to concentrate. Not something which is theoretical and it takes us nowhere else. That is why to concentrate upon an abstract thing is definitely difficult. Image worship came only because of that. But unfortunately, there also we only see in the image. Though we say he is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, we don't, the moment we come out of that image worship, everything stops there. Only the image you will see. But suppose we start doing like this. When we go to a temple, when we go to an ashram, when you see the master's photo, many of you might know, when you go to a temple first, there will be somebody, what do you call that, in the shops. How that the origin of the temple will be there in a book form. Enabling us to meditate. For example, when you go to Guruvayur, there will be the Kshetra Mahatmya. How Guru and Vayu, they both installed. There is something there. That will help us. And then Anubhava. Many of the devotees who had implicit faith in Lord Guruvayurappa, how the Almighty Lord, the form of Guruvayurappa, came to their rescue. All these things will help us, so that when we go and stand before the Murti, it will all help us. And what we read, what we meditate, what we contemplate, it stays with us, at least for some time. Otherwise, if we simply go and see and take prasad, at that moment there is some inexplicable joy in us, and then we come back. But we leave him there unknowingly. So what we are trying to understand is, any article which we are daily dealing with, if we try to understand, try to link it with this, this is also Papa, that is also Papa, Mataji is that word. Now it is becoming clear. The blackboard, is such an, to us it's an inert, insentient article. But now you see what a profound idea it has given. It is not simply a theory. All of us have experienced, directly experienced.
Swamiji, this morning I was thinking on the same lines. I can't keep on having the image of Papa in front of my eyes for a long time. It goes away. So what can I think instead? Maybe I think the incidences from Inquest of God, where he was equanimous, or many such incidences, his qualities, which will make me think of him. Is that correct?
Correct, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because every episode in Quest of God. But there the only probably we would not have derived the fullest benefit because again when we say Papa, we were not very clear about the immanent and the transcendent. We got stuck with that individual called Papa. And then suppose we also simultaneously develop that meditation. Concentration of an episode, first step. Second step is who is now dedicating who is bringing out. Then we know it is not merely the form. The intelligence, the inner personality, the inner entity, the inner entity in that form has experienced that and memorized and wrote it. What is that? So we try to concentrate upon that. So the reading of the episode is the first instrumental cause to enter into that pranam, so that the mind will not go here and there. And then we try to understand what who Papa is. Then finally, the other one we cannot say that, but we will become one with it. That is why we are in a position to remember it even without the help of a book. This memorizing can come also from absorption. So when we become one with that, that is what is called absorption. So as you said, that these are all the things which are practically possible. Practical. That is why every now and then we have to keep on going stress to serenity, because at that time everybody was enthused. But this background was not clear then. Now the background is becoming clearer and clearer. Especially when we read the mathematics, as I wrote here, the blackboard. Because we have directly experienced, It is not on which we have to contemplate. Only we have to recollect. At that time, we were treating it purely as a blackboard. If you and I were the class teacher, monitor, class leader.
Swamiji. Also, the body represents all the attributes like universal love. Through that body, he expressed universal love and service. So many other qualities that is mentioned throughout the inquest of God. So that if you keep thinking, maybe is that concentration? Can we do that?
It will surely. Even today, many people without any publication or publicity from ashram side, why people still keep on buying this inquest of God. We don't have any other media, but still we are getting orders. That means it has got its own inherent intrinsic power, I would say.
Yes, always.
Intrinsic power. So to concentrate. It's a book. It is a book, just like this blackboard. It is a book. But we don't just see. Previously, we were looking at it as a book. But the centenary, Sannyas centenary offered us an opportunity to go intensely on the contents, relating ourselves with the day-to-day life. And that helped us a lot. Similarly, we have seen the blackboard, direct experience, but we were only seeing it as a blackboard. But now when we hear this through another saint, so each and every article with which we are every day, each and every article, some article will definitely touch and kill. And that will help us. And then when you go deeper and deeper into it, this take the most benefit from it. Maximum benefit from it. Please think about it. I will again read this and then so that this is how the different attitudes. The same blackboard is approached by different teachers to explain different subjects during a single day in any classroom. The arithmetic teachers, geometrical figures and calculations are wiped quickly by the geography teacher to design their in his maps in the world and to trace the path of rivers and the location of the lakes and the position of the mountains. When the chemistry teacher arrives, he absorbs the entire world. You should know that this commentary was written in 50s, late 50s. It came to our hands in 61. So it must have been printed in 50s. So that was the background, not the classroom, not the present day background. And the mountains represent there on and the chemical reactions between the various elements, the chemistry teacher and compound. It now is left to the history teacher to make the blackboard clean again and refill it with the family trees of dynasties destroyed and the families forgotten. Each teacher comes and marks out on the blackboard different designs which represent the design of knowledge that each teacher has in his bosom. But all of them were chalked out and executed on the same changeless blackboard. When we think about this, slowly we understand it is the same language. If the medium of instruction is in English or Malayalam or Tamil, the teachers come. They use the same language to bring out the mathematics, the chemistry, the physics, the history, the language. The simple 26 letters, innocent alphabets A to Z in English. Just imagine. The same thing is used for everything. When you think about it, the mind is not going outside. Today when we were sitting outside and reading this, teachers came and when we were just sharing, they immediately said, can we take a photograph? Because it is directly related to their very life. The highest philosophy is given through a simple blackboard explanation. So we understand this is to be the attitude of every seeker. Instead of limiting to a particular place, particular time, particular method, not that it is bad, but this will help us. We have seen this. Our bhajan, our Ramnam, our sitting inward journey, everything should go as it is. But in order to give a fillip, a push, during our all these non activities, spiritual activities, we have named certain things as spiritual activities, sadhana activities. Non-sadhana period, we try to see every article, then we try one. Every article we may not be able to. Something will definitely make us. Mysteriously we will be taken to this. So today we started with the concentration, meditation and absorption. Instead of talking eye-sounding words, now suppose we take it like this, it might help us. A fruit plant, how it starts from a simple innocent seed, which you can hold it on a palm in your palm, and how it sprouts, how the stem comes, from there how the leaf, bud, flower, fruit, we eat and go, we look at it and go, that's not beyond that, no, no. So instead of trying to understand big words, we try to understand it through simple words. And when we concentrate more and more on that, in front of us, one girl is now playing with the ball. Suppose we try to understand that ball. It is an innocent, inert matter. When you keep it on the table or chair or floor, it is simple. But when it is made active, the experience that it gives is something different. Apart from the physical exercise, when you master it, you become the topper. All because of that innocent small thing called a ball. Papa used to often repeat this word, be reflective. Initially, we were trying to associate godly thoughts, certain things, a temple, an ashram, a guru, a murti, bhajan, nama, scriptures, or something else. But then when we try to go there, then we read, Dharadharam, he is there, Sarvasya, Sarvasya Chao, Sarveshu Udeshu. There are so many stanzas there. But we only read that. He is praising before us, parading before us everything. Do we try to connect? Whether it is a diary, whether it is a plate, whether it is a food item. Every time we may not be able to. But we are not used to it. Right from the young age, we have been taught these are all connected with spiritual studies. These are all connected with worldly studies. So the mind may not easily reconcile. Now, when we go through the Satsang, when we go through the Bhagavad Gita, when we try to understand the Jaya and Adara does not exist without me when he says. What is the slogan? Anybody remembers? Anybody remembers? Maya Bhudam Janadaram. Yechavi Sarvabhudanam. Bijam Tadanam Arjuna. Natadasti Vina Yasyad Maya Bhudam Janadaram. If we are read, okay, we keep on reading. What does it mean? I am the generating seed of all living beings, O Arjuna. No creature, moving or unmoving, non-moving, can exist without me. We read this. So when we see a class, when we see a book, when we see the laptop, when we see the pen, when we see anything, the table, the bed spread, there should be Krishna wanted all of us to see him in everything. Not in a particular selective thing. Initially it will be selective, no doubt. That is why when we handle everything, it will be handled with a touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of dedication, touch of gratitude. That is the real meaning of seva. When Papa said Trayurpad Nam Seva Dhyan or Nam Dhyan Seva, by the seva what is meant is handle everything with a touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of gratitude, touch of dedication. That means what? It is not has come from him. So nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. When I use the chappal, when I use the floor mat, when I take the spoon, every time I may not be able to, but at least all that is happening, so they are handling 200 things in a day. One or two we can definitely try, no? Then only we go along with this. Rudimentary shoot and root are packed up in a tiny seed. Rudimentary shoot and root are packed up in a tiny seed. Under favorable conditions, the dormant life content in the seed can manifest itself. And before long, the germinated seed can grow to inconceivable heights, which may thereafter look as though they have no relation with the very seed from which it arose. You see an avenue tree, any tree, just imagine. Outwardly, there is no comparison with the seed at all. This is what the meaning of this sloka. Yachami sarvabhudanam bijam tadaham arjuna natasti vina visyat maya bhudam characharam. Viewing only the finite world of plurality to one who is mourning under the sledgehammer of change and constant death, samsara may not show as having anything divine, infinite or blissful as the source from which it had come. So what is needed is now, he gives us one topic. Yesterday he made somebody to say about great wine. Today he made somebody to say about concentration, meditation, absorption. Instead of limiting to a theoretical exercise, suppose we connect it, you don't have to talk down. At least in our mental realm, we try to connect. So that every activity, in everything and everyone he is there, every activity we are trying to connect. So first we said acharam. In charam, in a person when you see, normally we see the rights and wrong, good and bad, the likes and dislikes, all those things may come. So first we try to see acharam, the non-moving, the blackboard, for example, the book, the language, the plate. And try to understand these three words, concentration, meditation, absorption. Because that is abstract. Try to enter into that abstract, it is very difficult for the mind. So Papa said, you first concentrate on an image, on the sound, or the light. That is why anywhere there will be a Buddha or a lamp will be there. Because it stands for Brahmadhyana. the light that dispels darkness, symbolically. And when you say light, it comes because there should be a lamp or something, anything, chirag or something. Then the oil, then the wick, then you light, concentrate upon it. First thing you understand is that the, what do you call it, the ray, it goes up. Water always goes down, but here it goes up. The direction is this way. So you concentrate on that. So any way or a light or a sound, that is concentration. And then meditation, just like we said, it goes upward. Upward means what? So in our case, suppose we bring Papa into our picture, or Lord Krishna, or Lord Rama, or Devi, or Lord Shiva, or Ayyappa, or Muruga. Suppose with this background, when you all these ideals which are abstract, in order to enable me to perceive a human form through a human form only a human being can easily understand. So a human being has given that form. All these things will come in the meditation. And the more we progress, absorption takes place automatically. A trance moment, absorption. So it's a good topic today, very good topic. So the clue that Papa gives us is, he is parading before us everything. We don't have to be selective. Initially it has to be selective. All these things we are telling because, we must have a puja room in our house. We must have a room in prayer, meditation, puja, so many things we have been touched. Then we are taken to famous temples, we are taken to Mahatmas, and now we are getting all these things because of that. LKG, UKG, lower primary, upper primary, high school, that has given us all these things. So everything is valid. I cannot say that it has no role at all. It has a role. It has a role. But the real benefit can be had only when we try to stretch it, not to limit, stretch. And we will be able to do the same thing also with a different perspective. Previously, when somebody asked us to do puja, so we will offer this puja. It is a ritual, some mantra. It is a ritual. Now we do the same ritual if we feel like, but with a different background. Everything should be an offering to him, no? To make us know that he brought his Brahman from Brahmani. Everything. Because everything, yesterday we were sharing here. Any profession or anything that we are doing, the field is not created by us. Intelligence is not created by us. Wherewithal is not created by us. Finally, the birth. A person should understand all these things, that person's origin. That is also not his. Bijama Sarvabhutani. So when everything is there, how can he say something into whatever I do must be an offering, whether I know it or not? Because I don't know, I attribute it to me and mine. But in truth, in reality, it is all his play that is going on. Whether I know it or not, whether I recognize it or not, whether I understand it or not. So this particular shloka, Brahma, Brahma, initially we will be doing it at the time of taking our meal, or some instrumental cost should be there to start with, We were all doing immediately after the what do you call the Yajnavalya, sacred ceremony. So when we eat pranaya swa, apanaya, om, so deva, pranayas, apanayas, gyanayas, samanayas. All these, we never knew about these five vital airs. So the food that goes inside is the thing, is the fuel which makes all the five vital airs vibrant. So I'm reminding myself about it. So if we try to understand like that, when we started doing this in Bhagavad Gita inter-study, one day, he prompts us, why 18? Why it was not 14 or 15 or 10 or 12 or why 18? Then there must be a reason. Then reflection starts. Then slowly it comes to us whether we are right or wrong, whether it is authentic, we don't know. As an individual, we see the five organs of perception, jnanendriyas, five organs of action, karmendriyas, and five vital airs, so 3 into 5, 15, mind, intellect, 17, the sense of individuality, aham, karta, ahakara, all these put together is called 18. So when you pass through these 18, then only you will be able to know him. These are the 18 steps. Then we remember Shabarimala, we have gone to Shabarimala. So 18 steps are there. And these, only after going through these 18 steps, you see the Lord seated in the sanctum sanctum. So like that, reflection. That will help us to know concentration, meditation, and absorption. Anything more?
Today Guru used blackboard. Blackboard, spirituality. Science, theater, everything used. Now Guru used spiritual blackboard. For Swamiji, Swamiji, isn't this itself impersonal? See, one thought comes to me, the same thought comes to Shraddha's mind, you explain it. Though as a body, it is one consciousness and one impersonal aspect throughout.
Correct. Take any object, start doing it.
Papa is teaching Swamiji. Papa is teaching directly now.
Now, just today it so happened, today morning when we were going through the Rashtra Brahma Yoga, this came and we were sitting outside and reading it. Somewhere we had read, but now we have forgotten. And then two teachers came, the master and the teacher. They were exactly when I finished, they came. Then I immediately went out. They were enthused. They immediately said, can we take a photograph? Why do you do that? It is related to our very life. So those articles, that itself conveys these profound subtle ideas. You don't have to limit to any particular place, particular time. Easy. And in Bhagavad Gita, he says, I am Maya Bodham Characharam. That is why he is guiding us. Let us take out the maximum benefit out of this. We don't have to search now. Today he is making us to feel that. We don't have to search. Nut and bolt, door, you remember? The fan.
Yes, Swamiji.
One by one, one by one, one by one. It enables us to get ourselves connected to him. Why is that? Life lessons from daily life. See, nut and bolt, chair, bridge, ladder, footwear, calendar, up, steps, door, strainer, ladle, salt, clock, banana leaf, see-through covers, mirror, dictionary, broomstick, candle, rubber band, magnifying glass, amplifier, seal, incense, pen or pencil, mobile charger, plug socket, gold or diamond, mixer or grinder, doorbell, doormat, carpet, writing paper, key or lock, paperweight, screen, photographs, map, flask, signpost. Only we couldn't get time. 39 to 40 items, it conveys to us something which we don't know. We have been just seeing them as paper, as a clock. So this training our mind to concentrate, to
Swamiji, because you are training, today when I was putting the cooker, I saw the empty space first and thought about it for a few seconds and then started my work.
The great void, you can see inside the glass, outside the glass. Maybe for a try, for a few seconds, doesn't matter. But God has provided an opportunity for us to think and connect ourselves with Him through that particular form. So we all pray intensely, pray kindly, enable us to connect with you always. Not in a particular place, particular time, particular this thing. Always, you are with me, you have been with me. So naturally you are with everything, you have been with everything. Why don't you please bridge the gap so that I will not get myself disconnected with you at any time. One, tasma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmarati. Therefore, at all times and in all places, remember me and fight the battle of life. Then the Gita, is entering into us, or we are entering into Gita. Not merely in one place. Sarveshu kaleshu. That word is a beautiful word. At all times and in all places, remember me and then fight the battle of life. Hari Om, Hari